Hello students, in this lecture we are going to study about agents of pollination. In previous lecture you have already studied about agents of pollination, wind and water. Abiotic agents, they are water and wind, and biotic agents, they are animals and insects. Now we are going to study pollination by animals. In your surrounding also you have observed so many insects. For pollination purpose they often visit garden. Some examples: bees, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, moths, birds, especially sunbirds and hummingbirds and bats. These all animals visit flower. Through this, pollination mechanism is achieved. If we talk about insects, actually bees, they are dominant biotic pollinating agents. Some larger animals like primates, lemurs, arboreal, tree-dwelling, rodents, reptiles, especially gecko lizards and garden lizards, they are also biotic pollinating agents. To achieve pollination mechanism through animals and insects, flowers, they have adapted particular species of animals. It means that particular types of flowers, particular type of plant species, they undergo this mechanism through specific type of animals and insects. As you know, when pollination takes place through wind or water, plants show some features, especially flowers show some features to achieve this mechanism. Here also, when pollination mechanism takes place through animals or insects, the plant species, their flower show some special features. Some of these features are: flowers large, colorful, fragrant and rich in nectar. Why this feature is observed? Because this type of flower can attract animal or insect for pollination. If flowers are small in size, generally they are arranged in cluster and an inflorescence. When animals or insects visit this type of flower, they are attracted by color and fragrance. Especially when flowers are pollinated by flies and beetles, they secrete fall odors. This way, various features of flowers is responsible for pollination mechanism. Flower is beneficial by pollination. They achieve pollen grains through animals and insects. Against it, it gives some rewards to animals. They are having nectar and pollen grains. When animals and insects visit such a type of plant and flower, at that time body of animal gets a coating of pollen grains. Generally this pollen grain is sticky in nature. It secretes mucus like secretion to stick on the body of animal, especially their body surface, hair like structure, they stick. So when animal or insect visit such a type of flower, their body come in contact with stigma and it brings pollination. Some interesting examples are here. Flower of Amorphophallus. Actually, Amorphophallus is the tallest plant, having 6 feet in height. It provides safe place to lay eggs. So, when insect visit this type of plant flower, at that time they can also lay their eggs safely here. One more interesting example, that is relationship between yucca plant, its flower, and moth. Both of them can't complete their life cycle without each other. Which type of relationship is observed here? Here, moth, it deposits eggs in locule of ovary and flower, pollinated by moth. Larva of moth come out of the eggs. A seed start developing at that time. Okay. So this way, when animals or insect visit any flower, the flower get benefit, it get pollen grains for fertilization purpose, vice versa. Animals or insects are also benefited for flower, they are having nectar gland in their body. Some other examples are also there. Some insects, when they visit flower actually, but without bringing pollination purpose. It means that they are benefited from flower, but they are not giving any reward. They are known as pollen or nectar robbers. So this way, many insects consume pollen or nectar without bringing about pollination. Next topic is outbreeding devices. As you know, there are 3 types of pollination: autogamy, gentogamy, and xenogamy. Some are self-pollinated type, some are cross-pollination type. Outbreeding actually natural mechanism. Some outbreeding devices are there which discourage self-pollination and encourage cross-pollination. Generally, pollen grains of same species plant, it is deposited on stigma of same plant and pollination process take place. So normally self-pollination is achieved. It is observed. But at long time, this continuity take place. At that time, desired character are not achieved. Special quality day by day, they decrease their features, characters. So this way, at that time, requirement of cross-pollination is there. It is also useful for plant breeders to achieve higher variety or quality of plant. Continued self-pollination result in inbreeding depression. In nature, some outbreeding devices are observed. They prevent self-pollination and enhance cross-pollination process. First, in some species, either pollen released before stigma becomes receptive or stigma becomes receptive before release of pollen. So, we can easily understand at that time self-pollination process is not possible. So, such a type of species undergo cross-pollination. That's why it is a one type of outbreeding device. Second, anther and stigma placed at different position. When this type of arrangement is observed in flower, it also prevents self-pollination and encourage cross-pollination. So this way it is also one type of outbreeding device. Third, self-incompatibility. This is a genetic mechanism and it also prevents pollen germination or pollen tube growth in the pistil. Fourth, production of unisexual flowers. In some species of plants, bisexual flowers are not observed. Either they are male or female flower. So this way self-pollination is not possible at all. At that time, compulsory they undergo cross-pollination process. Fifth, if both male and female flowers are present on same plant like castor and maize, it prevents autogamy, not pentagamy. 6. In papaya, male and female flowers on different plants, they are arranged, so itself it prevents autogamy and catogamy. So this way, in nature, this type of outbreeding devices are observed which discourage self-pollination and encourage cross-pollination. It is very useful for plant breeders to achieve desired quality of plant. Pollen-pistil interaction. It is a mechanism which is leading to the recognition followed by acceptance or rejection of pollen. Actually, pistil has ability to recognize right type or wrong type, means incompatible pollen. If pollen is of right type, then and then it is accepted. If it is a wrong type of pollen, it is rejected here. In this mechanism, if pollen is right type, it is accepted by pistil or stigma and promotes post-pollination events like fertilization. If it is a wrong type, pistil rejects pollen by preventing pollen germination on stigma or the pollen tube growth. This acceptance or rejection result of continuous dialogue between pollen and pistil. That's why it is known as pollen-pistil interaction. Okay. So through this mechanism, either pollen is accepted if it is right type, it is rejected if it is a wrong type. It is mediated by components of the pollen interacting the pistil. And this type of knowledge would help the plant breeder to get desired hybrids. And this way it is also economically useful. If pollen grain is accepted, if it is a right type of pollen, at that time post-pollination events take place. Right type of pollen is accepted by stigma of flower and further events are observed. They are known as post-pollination events. In this mechanism, pollen grains, they are germinated, pollen tube develops on stigma, it grows through the tissue of stigma and style and reaches ovary. This pollen grain at maturity, when pollen tube develops, contain male cell. In ovule, egg cell is present. So, through pollen tube growth, it reaches up to egg cell and then male cell fertilize this egg cell. Male cell is N in nature, haploid, egg cell is N in nature, again haploid, and the fusion results into zygote formation, which is diploid 2n. If pollen shed at 2-cell condition, genetic cell falls 2 male gametes during the growth of pollen tube in stigma. Another condition, if pollen shed at 3-cell condition, pollen tubes carry 2 male cells from the beginning. So we can understand, when pollen shed at 2-cell stage or 3-cell stage, such a type of development is observed. When pollen tube grows towards ovary, reach ovule, enter the synergy cell, at that time it guides it towards the destination, egg cell. In synergid cell, arrangement of filiform apparatus is observed. Actually, what is its role? It is very important here. It guides the entry of pollen tube towards egg cell. So, this way, when pollen grains recognize right type of pollen grain on stigma, at that time, through pollen pistil interaction, post-pollination events take place. It results into fertilization process. In the structure of embryo sac, egg cell is observed. Male cell, which is carried through pollen tube, it reach up to egg cell. Okay. It fuse with egg cell and result into zygote formation. So, in plants, naturally, in many species, this type of mechanism is observed. So, pistil can recognize such a type of pollen grain, its acceptance, pollination purpose is fulfilled. Now, pollen grains can grow or pollen tube growth take place on stigma, further development take place, and fertilization process achieved. So this mechanism is known as post-pollination event or mechanism.